And the reason I say this is not all of us. Now, when my children are in a position to start having children, I will love those grandchildren. But I'm going to let you know, I do not see my life after 50 just being a grandparent. I plan on living my life to the fullest so I can live without regrets. Hi, I'm Dr. Phyllis, and welcome to the Resilient Woman podcast. The podcast made for you, the high achieving, high performing, resilient woman who wears all of the hats, who is wired with a big heart of caring and of service. And in this podcast every week, it is my honor to help you in your personal growth so that you can live a life of faith fueled resilience that is full of joy. And recently, I was at a pre retirement event. I will be retiring next year from my medical practice. And I'm so excited because I will be able to coach women just like you, just like me, over 50, dream big and go back and get some of those dreams off of the shelf and also reconnect with joy. Many of you know my story, practicing medicine for actually over 27 years. And in latter years have especially worked with hospice and palliative care. Now, what I have learned is to even more appreciate life. Life is so fragile. My mom used to always say, life is fragile. And it is because tomorrow's not promised. And I always say that not to be a downer, but it actually helps to keep it in mind because every day is a blessing. And I think for resilient women like us, we have such big hearts. We get so involved with good motivation because we want to help others. Yet we keep putting off making sure that we are tapping into God's bigger calling for us. So, just as I was recently at this pre retirement event, in my remarks, I shared that I realized that medicine is not who I am, it's what I practice. Just as medicine is part of the calling that God has created me for, but it's not all there is. And what I will say to you that what your job is, what you are doing is a part of who God has created you to be. Similar to our roles as moms, spouses, significant others, community volunteers, family caregivers, that's just a part of who God has created us to be. And in today's episode, I want you to think about beyond the 9 to 5. What is it that you really want out of life? And back to this pre retirement event, which was just simply awesome. Shout out to the planners. You know who you are. You're awesome. It was really, really nice. And it was interesting as we went around and each of the retirees. Some have retired already, and some are preparing for retirement soon in the next 6 months. Some will be retiring maybe a little bit later, but they were each describing what they're going to do after they retire from practicing medicine. And even in conversation, what struck me was I really can confidently say that all of us had bigger dreams beyond medicine. Some of us had those dreams before we even started studying to be physicians and surgeons because I'm really thinking about this is for some it was just in a way it was a path they were encouraged to follow to go into medicine. Maybe others, there were family expectations that that was one of the choices that you would go into. For others, I'll say for me, I always wanted to help people. I as long as I remembered, I wanted to help people be better, to know they mattered. Because I think I also know how it is to try to find your place to fit in, to feel like you're enough, and always wanted to try to help others not feel that way, to make them better and to fix problems, to solve mysteries. And that's what guided me into medicine. Yet, also along with that, I love to write poetry. I loved to write. I enjoyed tapping into people's stories. Always love stories. Storytelling, being at the feet of older adults, telling their stories, understanding people's journeys. And so I think because medicine was one avenue that I felt I could make a difference, I went that route. Yet I never lost my thirst and passion to be a speaker, to be a writer, to be a coach, even though at that time I would not have thought about it. There are a lot of you. Wouldn't you agree? Does this resonate with you that very possibly the job that you're in 9 to 5 is a blessing because just like my practice of medicine, I'm blessed that it comes along with benefits and a retirement. And that is truly, as I said, a blessing. And with that, also, it didn't stop those other flickering flames within that there was more. And so that brings us back to the question of this Spice Girls song, "What is it that you really, really want?" As I just can't get that. For some reason, I cannot get that song out of my head today. What is it that you really, really want, sis? What is it that before you started your current 9 to 5, what is it that you dreamed that you wanted to do? Maybe as a little girl coming along, maybe you always wanted to be an artist. Maybe you wanted to be a teacher. Maybe you wanted to be a coach. Maybe you wanted to work with animals. Maybe you wanted to be a fitness coach or instructor. Even after 50, you can do whatever you dream you want to do. I think that's one of the hardest things is that when we hit our late 40s into facing 50, we look back over and we, no matter what, no matter how when we were younger, our senior family members would tell us, take it slow, enjoy every day, it goes fast. Now, I think you would agree with me. And we find ourselves telling young women coming behind us. I try to tell young women, young mothers, enjoy it. It goes so fast. We were told the same thing, and life just got away because we were so busy grinding, right? We were so busy making a difference in terms of our achievements at work and running and juggling our children and trying to attend to the needs and expectations, maybe caring for our parents or caring for other family members and trying to be a friend, and you wake up one day and you're like, wow, what now? And I one of my passions is helping women over 50 like you start, not even start, but go back. Start if there's a something new you want to do, go for it. But I also want you to have the permission and courage to go back and reconnect with those dreams that you had. It's not too late. It's not too late. And just because if you have children or bonus children or children that have come on to you, and or you have godchildren that you're caring for or you're invested in. And the reason I say this is not all of us. Now, when my children are in a position to start having children, I will love those grandchildren, but I'm going to let you know, I do not see my life after 50 just being a grandparent. I plan on living my life to the fullest so I can live without regrets. I think I saw that in my practice with hospice, that I've cared for women who are in their, even in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, and 70s and on above. And there were those who said, I wish I had. And I don't want to do that. I want to live my life. I want to experience my life. And I want you to. I want you to give yourself permission to have the courage to try something new, to push your boundaries and take your resilience, your inner strength that God has created you with to withstand life's ups and downs and sideways. I want you to take that and I want you to shine it up and I want you to season it with some joy and some peace and some purpose for you. Because God didn't just create you with a resilient spirit, that inner courage and strength to withstand life's storms and to juggle a lot of things and wear all the hats just to expend energy for others and not invest in the vessel, in the temple that He's put you in. He has a purpose for you. And that's why I want you to have a new improved resilience, and why I have taken this podcast from just talking about pivoting to talking about your resilience. Because at the end of the day, God has created you for big things. And life is about different seasons, different chapters. Nothing's wasted. We carry our experiences from one season to another. And that's why I've grown in my personal growth to realize it's not just about pivoting. Yes, there are times we take different roads, but we're still on one journey. There may be some different paths, but it's one journey. It's different seasons, but it's one journey. And we learn from the past and we take it toward the future. And God has had you go through all these different experiences, the ups and downs, as I said, the sideways, the curveballs you've dealt with, because He has more for you. And you don't have to be afraid. And you need to start now. Don't keep putting it off saying, well, when the kids do this, or when my money looks like that, or when my job does this, or they give me, don't wait for anybody to give you anything. I want you to take that same resilience that you have used for everyone else in your life and invest it in you. And it starts with you asking yourself, what is it that you really, really want out of life? How do you envision your life? And I want you to think about, again, not to be in a downer way, but I want you to stop and think about, because we all know at some point in time, we're leaving this earth. So what is it that you want to look back over your life and say? What is it that you want to look back over your life and see? What is it that you want to experience? How do you vision your life? How do you envision it? How do you want it to look? What is it that you really, really want? And if you need to, you go get that Spice Girl song and you put it on. And you think of Dr. Phyllis as she's asking you, what is it you really, really want? And know that I believe in you, that you can obtain it. And you can obtain it while you're still wearing all the hats and filling all the expectations and roles. But I'm committed to helping you find joy and purpose as we work on that resilience to make it what? Faith fueled and joy filled resilience. I love you. I look forward to doing this next part of the journey with you. I can't wait till next week. Be good, be safe, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.